Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the big Dragon Ball Genki Damatsuri event, which had a lot of people excited, may have had its big surprises leaked. Now, there's nothing 100% confirmed, so I feel pretty comfortable talking about it, but I will not talk about it until I give a big spoiler alert. All I can say for now is, if you guys do not want to have any idea of what is going to be announced, click off the video after I give you your proper spoiler warning. Before that though, we're going to be speculating and talking about some news that came out this week that I think a lot of you guys will be excited for. We'll be talking about the Dragon Ball Fighterz update. We'll be talking about, of course, Toyotaro being at Jump Festa, which I have pulled up here. It's going to be a fun time. Alright, so let's start with what Red Ribbon DBZ said. This is translated from Spanish, so here's the original in case you guys are native Spanish speakers and you want to see exactly what they said in the original language. And then let's go to English. Toyotaro will be at Jump Festa, which a lot of people was not aware of. So this actually, I don't think, was a very big story. I think a lot of people were under the impression that Toyotaro would not be here because Dragon Ball has no presence. And then I think just recently they announced this. So it's in a slot with, I think that's Victory Uchiha, or maybe Victory Asada, or maybe I don't know. It says in a slot with the Victory. So this is a thing where it's translated. So I'm not sure exactly what they're saying because they say Uchida here. So are they saying Victory Uchida or Victory Asada? Maybe they're saying Victory Asada here and the comma shouldn't be there. So it's in a slot with Victory Asada and Uchida, along with the Bandai folks, and right after the previous slot, focused on figures. He'll talk exclusively about his illustration to figure project, Gohan plus Goku. So obviously this exclusively is probably speculation from Red Ribbon DBZ, but I think it's pretty sound speculation. So here is the official panel here. It says Toyotaro something presents something figures Dragon Ball Super. Again, I don't read Spanish, but I just wanted to show you the original from what Red Ribbon DBZ posted. Toyotaro Sensei, Victory Uchida, Victory Asada, and then Bandai Spirits, I guess the people that actually worked on the figure. So that's who all is going to be on the panel. So obviously they're mainly there talking about the figures. And here's an early look at what the figure will be looking like. Very cool stuff, if I'm being honest. Varrock, I think, is the person that sculpted it. And then you have Toyotaro here. Pretty cool stuff. Now, I believe if what I read is accurate, and I'm pretty sure it is, they're actually going to have this on the cover of one of the upcoming V-Jump issues. So that's pretty cool. We'll actually get a big Toyotaro Dragon Ball artwork on a V-Jump cover again, finally. So that's pretty exciting. So here's what a lot of people are wondering. If Toyotaro will be at Jump Festa, does that mean Toyotaro will talk about the Dragon Ball Super manga? And my opinion is maybe, maybe not. It's kind of 50-50. If you've watched the Dragon Ball news videos that they actually do for the official, actual V-Jump stuff, right? They actually do a really good job of talking about Dragon Ball without spoiling Dragon Ball. But then Toyotaro always leaves a little nugget, I notice. He always is like, please look forward to more exciting fights. I hope to do more exciting fights like this in the future, etc., etc. Especially whenever he was talking about drawing the big Goku and Master Roshi fight that he was a pretty big fan of because it won the poll. Anyway, point is, what this means is he will mainly be talking about his form for drawing the artwork that the figures were based off and things like that. However, one thing that he may talk about is his inspiration for drawing this, which could bleed into maybe a little bit of a discussion for how he views the future of Dragon Ball Super with the whole idea of Goku leaving the Earth in Gohan's hands, which was referenced in Dragon Ball Super Chapter 103 when Goku talked about how he felt comfortable leaving Earth in Gohan's hands. So I could see maybe a little bit of discussion around that, which could give hints for the future of Dragon Ball Super. But with Genki Damatsuri just around the corner, because this is going to be taking place on December 21st, I don't think they're going to come out and be like, yes, Dragon Ball Super will be returning next year. Everybody, mark it down on your calendars. I don't think that's necessarily what's going to be happening at this event. However, if there is any news at all, I will be posting about it. I will be making a video about it if Toyotaro is like, yes, I would like to see more Gohan. And I'm going to make a video about that because, dude, he literally makes the manga. If he would like to see more Gohan, then we're going to get more Gohan, you know? I mean, he had an interview recently where he talked about wanting to see more Goten. So, yeah, if he wants to see more Goten, we're going to see more Goten. He's literally the dude creating the manga, right? So, anyways, that's basically all there is for Toyotaro at Jump Festa. If anything major comes from it, I will keep you guys posted. Moving on, let's talk about the big Dragon Ball FighterZ update. This is coming from Dragon Ball Games. They said, "Thank you for playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. Based on feedback from the recent update, we're planning adjustments to several in-game behaviors and phenomena. Full details will be shared with the upcoming update. We appreciate your patience as we work to improve the game." So, a lot of people are looking at this tweet and going, yeah, we appreciate this, but also, if you're putting so much time and effort into balancing the game, doesn't that kind of say that you have a team dedicated to making content for this game, especially with the Dragon Ball Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku character being revealed and going to have a full reveal at the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour event next year, which a lot of people are also speculating we're going to see a Battle Pass for? Like, what does all that mean? Well, this is mainly speculation, but obviously a lot of people are pointing at this update and going, yeah, I think we're going to get more than just Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Dragon Ball Daima. So, a bit of a good sign for you Dragon Ball FighterZ fans. This could be a big deal, right? I mean, it's not like they're just making one update and then saying, okay, we'll see you next year for Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Dragon Ball Daima and FighterZ. They're dropping constant balance updates and things like that. So, that means they want the game to be in a very good state for whenever Goku arrives. And I think that might be because they're going to do the Battle Hour event, they're going to have Goku revealed, and then they're going to surprise everybody by dropping more DLC. I feel like that's going to be the big, oh my god, Dragon Ball FighterZ is back. Like, they want that moment, right? So, I think that's what they're building up to. That's speculation, of course. But we are for sure getting another update to basically balance the game more. Alright, and the final story before we talk about this minefield of the whole leak story, but not yet, but here we go. Dragon Ball is listed in the files for Fortnite's 0-hour event taking place on November 29th. From DBS Hype, via not Paulo Leaks, thanks to Captain Olivka for tagging me. So, this was from DBS Hype. So, it looks like you Fortnite kids, men, women, whoever plays Fortnite, Dragon Ball is listed on the 0-hour event. Now, I don't play Fortnite, so I don't know what Dragon Ball's role would be in this. If you guys know, leave a comment down below. Maybe they're going to add more skins, or maybe they'll play a role in the event. Maybe Shinron will fight this guy, whoever this guy is, I don't know. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to leave you with this before we talk about the leaks, because this is a bit of important news, right? So here you go. All right, and here is your final spoiler warning. We're going to be talking about the leaks for Dragon Ball Genki Damatsuri starting right now. All right, so before we get into this, this is going to be a very hard conversation to cover because there's, I don't want to say infighting and I don't want to say drama because I think everybody's well-intentioned, but in order to cover this full story, I need to talk about tweets word for word, verbatim, and the goal of this video is not to be like a drama alert, Dragon Ball community. Like, I'm not here for that. I'm here for the story within the story, right? So, if any of you are watching and you're thinking about, oh, well, I agree with this person, I agree with that person, that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to read what they're saying and then try to get to the bottom of it, right? That's kind of, I feel like that's my job as like a Dragon Ball YouTuber. I do news and commentary. I'll talk about things that I want to talk about, but then I cover the news. And this is news, and I'm going to cover it. But I don't want to cover like the drama aspect of it, basically. So there's your disclaimer. So Vinixis, very good reporter, guys. Make sure you go follow Vinixis, very reliable reporter. Reports a lot of facts and really tries to stay on topic. He says, guys, stop, please. Anyone who knows something, stay quiet. I'm begging you. What's the point of ruining the surprise like this when we're only 2 months away from Genki Damatsuri? Just hold on. So he's talking about people who know things and are leaking things. And then this person who has 80,000 followers, who is very good with posting exact cells, animation, things like that, very high quality things. People go to their account and basically save it to use for their videos and things like that. Their username is Pico Daima. I always had a hard time saying their name. They said, oh, well, this was in response to Super Chronicles. Again, I'm not here to get into all the drama or anything like that, but this is like a whole story that I need to navigate with you guys. I'm here with you guys, so if I get anything wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. Again, I'm not here to point any fingers or do any drama alert stuff. So if you guys have anything you want to add to the conversation in the comments, please do, but be respectful. Understand we're not here to attack any of these people. Alright, so Super Chronicles says, I swear if you guys keep annoying me, I will do something that you won't like. Live and let live. Also, people like Fighterz who are asking leakers to stop leaking. Please name the leakers you're talking about in your tweets. Don't generalize it for everyone who wants leaked. Right, so that's what their tweet was about Fighterz, and of course Fighterz wasn't naming a leaker specifically, right? And so Pico Daima said, it's not you, it's an anonymous person sending pre-production stuff in DM. I received them yesterday without having asked for anything. The person working on the project spoke to the wrong person. It is extremely immature not to know who is trustworthy when it comes to such serious leaks and to have sent them such things. So, what all this is telling me is do not leak if you know what's coming. But if you leak, then it's out there, right? So people are going to talk about it if it's out there. So the conversation is mainly about leakers specifically. So obviously somebody knows something and there is a story out there. Now, when it comes to me covering leaks, the way I view it is I am covering the leaks that are already out there. I am not the one doing the leaking. If I am talking about things that have already been leaked, then I am not the one leaking, basically is what I'm saying. So, with respect to everybody here, right, we're not here to attack them. We're not here to talk about the drama. We're here to basically talk about the fact that this individual had something sent to them, and they are not posting it. Good for them, right? I'm not, like, here attacking them or anything like that, but they're not posting it. But other people have talked about this stuff is actually real, you know? I don't want to like post a lot of like messages and tweets and stuff from people because then it really will turn into drama alert of the Dragon Ball community, and that's not the goal of this video. The goal of this video is to basically confirm leaks are out there. Now, before we talk about what could be leaks, let me say this. What I'm about to talk about is coming from this guy, Ronan Roke. And he has a YouTube channel with 97.7 thousand subscribers, right? Again, I'm trying to do this the best way I can. So they did have a post up, but they deleted it. He says, I deleted the most recent posts about the future of Dragon Ball for reasons of national security. But remember this image. So out of respect for them, I'm not going to tell you what their original post said, but I guess he wants you to remember this image, so here you go. So the reason why I posted this guy in this video, the reason why I'm using him is because I have done as much research as I could into this topic, right? I've looked at people who are talking about the leaks, and I've looked at people who may or may not have the actual information. Now, again, I'm trying to talk about this the best way I can. I don't want to add to the problem of just telling you exactly what's going on, but I'm honestly not even sure these leaks are accurate, right? But I have to report on them, I feel like, just because it's a big story. And, I mean, if it's the news of Dragon Ball, we have to talk about it, right? Again, I am not the one doing the leaking. I am the one reporting. So he says, remember this image. And then he posted some replies to people in the comments. This person says, anime and manga return. He says, not only this. So I guess he's implying that there's going to be more than an anime and manga return, right? And then he says, one thing, Renan, will we have something new, like new scenes, something unprecedented in this big project? And then he says sim, which I looked it up. That means yes, right? And then this guy says, poor guy, the super movie. Everybody already knows that's going to be revealed. Then he says, not only the movie. And then he said this afterwards, if still about those Dragon Ball leaks, if I were you, I'd binge watch the entire Dragon Ball Super anime. Then he responded to more people. This person said, if it's not what we want, we can forget about the Moron Granola saga. So then he said, sim. So this was in response to the original tweet, but out of respect for him, I'm not going to give you context for what he's referencing. But he said sim, which is yes. And then another comment he replied to, this person says it's going to take forever until January. Now this is what I really want to talk about. Again, this is why I'm trying to be very careful in this video and just use like the words and things like that. Renan says, before this, it's already going to leak. There are already photos circulating around. Which lines up pretty well with what this other influencer slash person says. I do not have these images, so I can't confirm 100% if this is real, but this is what these people are saying. Now, with all this said, what appears to be the case is there's the video game that we all know about. There's the movie, which is heavily rumored to be true. And then there's this anime. And again, apparently, from what I can sparse out, it has something to do with Dragon Ball Super. Now, this person says, I would binge watch the entire Dragon Ball Super anime regarding the leaks. So this could be in relation to the movie or the anime. Then he says everything's going to be leaked, right? He says new scenes, yes. So obviously that could probably be for the new movie or the anime, either or. And then he said not only this, whenever somebody said anime and manga returned. So I guess the manga will be announced to return in January, which I would hope so. I'm hoping so, right? And then they said, remember this image, and it's the Beerus planet. And again, this is so vague. It could mean the manga returning, where they're going to start off on the Beerus planet and they're training, right? Vegeta could be training. Or it could be any number of things. So, like a tease at the new movie or a tease at the new anime. So I guess the point of this leak is it's one of those really vague leaks that I like, where you can look back on it after it's revealed and be like, oh, that's what they were saying. Okay. Alright, that makes sense. So, one thing I will say about all these leaks is there are leaks, and I'll just leave it on this tweet just because it's a nice look at the planet. And the rest of this video will mainly be me talking about things that I cannot show you because it's a little bit too vague and it's a little bit too weird, right? And again, I'm trying to navigate this conversation as best I can without giving the whole thing away, and also with respect to the fact that this is news, these are leaks, this is stuff that's out there, things to keep your eyes out for. If you don't want to know what's actually going to be revealed, you're going to have to be very careful on the internet soon. So apparently these images are circulating. They could be out there any day now in your face. But there are things being said about what this anime could be. Now, I am personally struggling with the idea of reporting on this as what it could be because they're only words, right? They're only like things that they're saying it could be, but they're reporting it as fact, right? Or they're reporting it as a report, right? So, with the idea that I don't want to actually spoil the event and leave the surprises ruined for everybody, I'm not going to talk about what I saw. Again, I didn't see any images. I'm just talking about tweets and reports from people that I had to dig for. I was searching and searching and searching and searching and searching, and I found a few things. But the interesting thing is, I found two things for what the anime series could be, and both of them contradicted each other so hard that it has to be one or the other. So that also makes me think that somebody's making something up somewhere. One of these things could be true, and then one of them could be a lie that somebody's making up and trying to push. So, I did want to talk about these leaks, though, and this person left it vague enough to where we have no idea what he's talking about. And then you can look back on it later and be like, yeah, that makes sense. Then he's talking about, like, new stuff, right? Like right here. binge watch the Super anime, maybe for the Super movie, right? Everybody knows it's going to be revealed. He says not only the movie, a lot of people were already speculating it could be an anime. There's going to be new scenes and stuff like that in this big project. Yes, right? So, again, kind of stuff that you could already assume, but this was the one where I was like, okay, this is definitely worth talking about. And, of course, all this. So, before I close out the video, I want to make one more statement about this. Again, this was not... Reading these tweets was not to be like the drama alert of the Dragon Ball community. It was to add credibility to the idea that these leaks are out there and that some of this stuff could be accurate. This is not to besmirch Piccolo's name or Super Chronicles' name or Vinix's name. These tweets are up. They're public. Everybody can go look at them, right? Vinixis is a great reporter. Super Chronicles is a great reporter. Piccolo is... I don't know if he specifically is a reporter, but he does his job well with all of his stuff. You can go follow all these people and show them respect. And again, this video isn't to attack any of them. This is just to talk about the fact that, as Vinixis says, anyone who knows something, stay quiet. And then this person says, yeah, somebody sent me something. So stuff is out there, right? Stuff is out there. And I don't want to talk too specific about what the leak that I saw, which again, I'm not going to get into too much, right? Just this little tease and stuff. I have no idea what this is about, but I love these kind of leaks where you can like kind of guess and theorize. I think that's better to build hype than just putting it out there and being like, this is what's going to be announced, right? Like I think a lot of people thought, okay, 2 projects and a game, so we'll probably get a movie, an anime, and a game. And that's mainly what this person's talking about that we'll probably be getting. And again, the reason why I used Renin as an example is because they have a pretty big following on their YouTube channel, which means that I could see maybe them knowing something, maybe somebody sending them something, or maybe they just are in on the conversation, right? Who knows how this works? I'm just the reporter. I'm not the leaker. But yeah, guys, show Vinixis love, show Piccolo love, show Super Chronicles love. This is a big deal. This event is going to be massive. A lot of people are saying this is going to be one of the most massive events in years. Which would make sense because what have we gotten that's a big event in years? Maybe like, well, we got the Dragon Ball Daima panel for New York Comic Con. But when you're talking about like years, is that including Dragon Ball Superhero? I don't know. I have no idea what they could be announcing here, guys. Hopefully, I did my job as best I could in this video. Again, my goal is not to directly leak what you want. My goal here is not to directly reveal what they're going to be revealing at the event. I still want that to be a surprise because you have to go so hard to look for it. Now, if it's just like plastered all over the internet, then yeah, I'll have no choice but to find it. But as of now, you still have to do some digging and digging and digging and digging to find what could be it. So I don't want to exactly reveal that here. I do like this vague leak though, and I like the vagueness of this, so I will talk about that here, of course. And just to inform you guys that yeah, be on the lookout because this thing could be leaking any day now, and it's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. Now, I don't know if like the actual reveal will be massive. Like again, there's still the possibility that what I saw was not real or accurate, and it could be like, hey, we're going to be doing a fan meet and greet with Toyotaro. You know, like I have no idea what they're going to announce. So it could be massive, it could not be massive. What I'm talking about is if there are actually images that leak out, that's what will be massive because they'll be plastered everywhere. And then at that point, I'm basically forced to talk about it because everybody will know about it. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully I covered this in like the least biased way possible with respect to everybody and talking about everything that went on. If you have any thoughts or concerns or anything you want to post in the comments down below, please let me know. I will listen to you guys. I will do my best to respond to comments. And the goal of this video is not that I'm infallible or anything. Like if there is something I could have handled better in this video, please let me know. I'm still like a fairly new YouTuber. I'm not doing this to get like 100,000 subscribers, and I just do this for fun, right? So for fun, I make videos and things like that. So I'm always open to suggestions, and I'm receptive to feedback and things like that. So if there is something you want me to improve on, like in the delivery of what I'm saying here, because again, talking about leaks is a hot topic, and my goal is not to directly spoil the event itself. Like I said, I like leaks that are more teases. A lot of people do that with like the Marvel community. That's how a lot of Marvel leakers or the MCU leakers do it. They'll do little teases and things like that. That's the kind of leaks that I like. So yeah, guys, anyway, sorry for ranting so much at the end here, but I just had to kind of get this out there and kind of be as accurate as possible and let you guys know where I'm coming from. And hopefully this event lives up to the hype, and hopefully we don't get the full reveal spoiled before the actual event. That's going to be a very exciting video to make. And again, I will be making a full video at the end of the event recapping everything. And hopefully you guys will be stay tuned for that. Anyways, y'all, that will be it for this video. We ran a little long here, but it kind of required me to rant a little bit in this video because it was like a very complicated thing to talk about. We had a lot of things to cover. So yeah. Anyway, that will be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace off.